Hello, welcome to my videos and my blog. In this time, I'm going to talk about the Steelers victory 18 to 10 against the Falcons today in the week number 1 of NFL 2024 regular season. Where today started the NFL 2024 regular season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, where they travel to Atlanta to defeat the Falcons 10-18. Where first of all, remember that this is the beginning of the season. Where remember that Russell Wilson was named the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers 1 or 2 weeks ago by the Mike Tomlin, the Steelers head coach, but he had an injury and he wasn't ready and he didn't play this game. He was equipped, but if the Justin Fields had some problems. So in this game, the starting quarterback was Justin Fields. So about this game, this was a close after game, especially because the Pittsburgh Steelers, talking about the offense, they didn't do a very great job, but they did enough to win this game. And talking about the defense side, they play a tremendous game, especially in the second half where they didn't any points. They just allowed one touchdown and one field goal, but they didn't allow any point in the second half, and this was enough to win the game. And in this game, the MVP of this game was Chris Bowell because he scored the 18 points from the Steelers, 6 field goals made, and the other MVP was TJ Watt. That he played a tremendous game because he had a one fumble. He forced one. He had one sack, 2 sacks. He forced one fumble. He sacks in the last play of the game. And this was amazing. How I told you, it was a very good game for the offense side, but they did enough and they won the game. About this game, in the first half, I think that the Steelers were the best team in the game. I think that they were a little better than Atlanta, but the problem for the Steelers is that in the offense side they couldn't move all of the ball or score a touchdown. I think that in all the games the Steelers just were 2 times in the red zone in all the games. So this is a very awful situation. But the most important is that the Steelers won this game. In the halftime, the Steelers were losing the game by one point difference, 9-10. And in the halftime, in the statistics, the Pittsburgh Steelers had 129 total yards, 83 by passing, and 46 by running game. This was a full situation. And by the Falcons side, they had in the halftime 175 total yards, 136 by passing, and 39 by the running. And in the halftime, the Steelers just have one interception. About the second half, how I told you, the Steelers defense adjusted its game. They didn't let that Atlanta score any points. The Steelers made another 9 points. 9 points. They scored 9 points. Another 3 field goals, and in the end, the Steelers won it 18 to 10. About the statistics, the Steelers, how I told you, they didn't play a very great football in the offense side, but they did enough because they didn't do any mistakes, and that was great because they didn't make any fumble nor interception. They made 267 total yards, 133 by pass, and 134 by the running game. Well, I told you in the second half, the Steelers established the running game where they did more than 19 yards in the running game, and this was the difference to win the game. And about the defense side, they play a tremendous game where they just allowed 226 total yards and just 89 by the running game. So here was the difference. About the overall, you can see here that the Steelers, here was the difference because the Steelers had no interception and neither a fumble, and the Atlanta had three turnovers, one fumble and 2 interceptions, and this was the difference that for that reason the Steelers won the game. About the individual statistics, who I told you, Justin Fields did the same job, a good job. It was great, but he did something important that he didn't throw any interception, but he didn't score any touchdown. About the running game, the best was Najee Harris with 17 yards and 20 opportunities. they did enough. In the passing yard, it wasn't the best, but the best was George Pickens with 6 receptions by 85 yards. And the defense side was the best side, because you can see here that the Steelers had 2 sacks in the game, one by T.J. Watts, the last one, and the second one was by Montraviu Adams. So just 2 sacks. And the difference here was that the Steelers had 2 interceptions. The first one was the Sean Miller in the first half, in the first quarter, and the last one that closed the game was the Dante Jackson that scored that got the interception in the last quarter that closed the game. So, how I told you, it wasn't the best or the most beautiful victory for the Steelers, but they won it. That was the most important. And how I told you, when the Steelers won the game, when the Steelers allowed less than 20 points per game in a game, most of the time the Steelers win that game. And you can see here that the Steelers just allowed 10 points, and for that reason they won the game. And how I told you, the MVP were Boswell, that scored all the points, six field goals. TJ was that played a tremendous game. Something that I wanted to say is that in the first half, the referees made 2 bad calls for the Steelers that changed the game, because one pass interference by Pickens that, in my opinion, it wasn't, and the Steelers were in the Atlanta territory, and the second was in the second quarter, where T.J. Watts made a sack Kirk Cousins and recover the fumble, but the referee called an offside, and in the next play, the Atlanta scored a touchdown. So, but the good reason is that the Steelers won the game. So, what's next? The Steelers will travel to Denver, where they will play against the Broncos the next Sunday, September 15 and 16:25 Eastern Time in the week 2. In this moment, the Broncos are playing on Seattle, and the moment I'm recording this video, the Broncos are losing 8-9 on the second quarter. So about this game, there is always difficult. It's always difficult to go to play to Denver, because to the high altitude. And in the last 10 years, the Steelers have been have a lot of troubles and struggle in Denver. So I think that this will be the same game that against the Falcons, where I think that both games will be dominated from the defense side. And remember, Russell Wilson, I think the most probably he's gonna to be ready for this game, and he will play against his former teams, the Broncos. So I think that this will be a game with little points. I think that, unfortunately, the Broncos are going to win this game, but because the Steelers always have trouble when they go to Denver. But I think that maybe the Steelers can win this game, but I think that this will be a game with less than 20 points for each team, and I think that, unfortunately, the Steelers are going to lose this game by 1 or 3 point difference. So, in this video, I talk about what happened today, where the Steelers start the season very great, where they defeated 10-18 the Falcons and Atlanta, and they won its first game of the season. This is all for today. See you next video. Gibran.